Can I just ask you, ma'am, I know you're going into the assembly, and it's not a question. Jehovah's Witness and a professed Jehovah's Witness. No? Okay, thank you. No, they don't seem to have time. Now, some people will be asking, why on earth am I asking what's the difference between a Jehovah's Witness and a professed Jehovah's Witness? Well, all will become evident, and hopefully a little later on in our broadcast that will be explained. We're going to go over now to talk to some people on the carts, because surely they will know the difference between a Jehovah's Witness and a professed Jehovah's Witness. So follow me over the road. Excuse me, sir. Now I know this gentleman. This is Guy. Can I just talk to you for one moment?
You can't know.
I tell you why I'm concerned, because my daughter was abused by an elder. Because my daughter was abused by an elder, and he's in prison for 14 years now. All I want you to ask is a simple question. I'll wait for you to come back. But would you mind having a quick chat, sir? It's a very quick question. Okay, all right. Oh, now we are standing by the cars. So this is very interesting. The carts have been abandoned, and it looks like I and my cameraman, who looks very smart, we are now actually in charge of the carts. Now, what are we going to do if someone says, "Can we have a magazine, please? We're in trouble." Let's see what they do. I think we may need to go across the road and talk to someone maybe behind the fence. Okay? Excuse me, gentlemen. I know that you're on duty at the assembly, so I'm not going to keep you. Can I ask you, which may be an odd question, what's the difference between a Jehovah's Witness and a professed Jehovah's Witness? And it's a serious question.
We're not going to engage in a conversation with you, I'm afraid.
I just tell you why I ask. In last Sunday's Watchtower, when it said Jehovah's Witnesses, some have abused children, it says they're only professed Jehovah's Witnesses that have abused children, and not Jehovah's Witnesses.
We're not going to engage in a conversation.
I just wondered, because you're on duty, you've got to watch for professed Jehovah's Witnesses getting in, as opposed to Jehovah's Witnesses. Have you had training as to what's the difference between a professed Jehovah's Witness and a Jehovah's Witness? And it's a very serious question.
We're not engaging in a conversation with you, sorry.
Okay. So you've not had any training?
We're not going to engage in a conversation with you.
Okay. You don't think it's a very serious subject to
Excuse me.
discuss?
Sorry.
We're not going to engage in a conversation.
Okay, well I respect that. Thank you very much. All right. I think we'll better move on. Security are not sure the difference between a professed Jehovah's Witness, as it says here, and a Jehovah's Witness. And if it's professed Jehovah's Witnesses that are abusing children, they're going to be letting people in who are actually child abusers. Let's go down to the carts at the bottom. Is that okay? Thank you. We'll have a talk to this young lady, if that's okay. Hello, sir. I know that you're busy in the carts. Well, you've abandoned the carts. So again, this is another cart. We'll take over the cart. And if anyone wants to come up for a magazine or a track, we'll certainly help out. Are you, honestly, gentlemen, cannot tell me the difference between a professed Jehovah's Witness, and that's all we're asking, and a Jehovah's Witness?
We're not going to engage in a conversation with you.
I only ask, and because my daughter was abused and the elder is now in prison, it has annoyed me to a degree that when talking about Jehovah's Witnesses that do it, they are just saying, oh, they're only professed Jehovah's Witnesses. And hang on, the guy that abused my daughter wasn't a professed one, he was an elder. He was a well-used brother on assemblies and other things. So I'm really worried. What's that? I'm really worried that you will be letting people in who are child abusers when actually they are just professed Jehovah's Witnesses according to the Watchtower. It doesn't look as if the gentlemen here have any answers, although they're following us along. So perhaps we'll move down to the next card. Thank you, sir. And it's an odd question. Can you tell the difference between a Jehovah's Witness and a professed Jehovah's Witness?
Right.
What do you think? Because obviously it's your job to not let people in who are...
I know. I know you, John. And you
I
know me,
I
John.
know you do. I'm trying to think
I've been on holidays with you, John.
Have you? Right. Well, there
And
we
you
are.
brought me back into the truth, so
Well,
thank you very
excellent.
much.
Well, I'm glad that you're happy.
I have a duty to look after my brothers.
I do. I know
so
that. I know that, and I
have to
appreciate
show-
your respect as well. I'm only here because my daughter was abused by an elder. You probably even know the brother, which is okay. That happens.
I know the situation. I'm not going to comment on it because
Okay.
I'm on duty. At the
Okay,
moment,
I'm only here because it did annoy me to a degree, because instead of saying, yes, Jehovah's Witnesses do have a problem sometimes, they've just called those people that do the abusing professed. But anyway, I respect you, and it's I hope
Nice to meet you, John.
And you. Take
Yeah,
care.
you take care as
All
well, right?
We'll have another go at the carts here, I think. What's the difference between a Jehovah's Witness and a professed Jehovah's Witness? And you've been deserted. and we've taken over another cart. So they must think we are proficient at being able to look after the cart. So I think I'll stand here and pretend I'm a Jehovah's Witness. And when brothers come along, have a nice assembly, brothers. And by the way, what's the difference between a professed Jehovah's Witness and a Jehovah's Witness? Can I just stop you for 1 minute? I know you're heading into the assembly. I'm not disfellowship, I'm going to just tell you that straight away. But I do have a genuine question.
Steps up.
Okay, thank you. I didn't want them to think that I was an apostate that's been put out. I haven't actually been put out of Jehovah's organisation, but I am a concerned individual. The magazines on there, that they don't have the study article, which is May 2019, because that one is solely for Jehovah's Witnesses, and that's why it's Jehovah's Witnesses studying this that will be dealing with this point. In addition, some professing to be a part of the congregation have succumbed to perverted fleshly desires and have sexually abused children. So the Jehovah's Witnesses who have been child abusers are not real Jehovah's Witnesses. They are just professing to be part. So that's a unique point, that actually there has never been a child abused by a Jehovah's Witness. That is unique, because anyone who was a Jehovah's Witness and abused a child is only been professing to be one. Sorry.
Can I just interrupt you, my darling? My name's Helen. I'm looking after
Hello,
security here. This is my colleague Matt.
Hi. Hello, Matt.
He's the event manager.
Right.
We've brought you a copy of the land registry.
Thank you for doing that. I was going to go in and I was going to come in, but I didn't think they would let me in. So I wanted.
No, we won't.
No, I mean
we won't
just
be
to
paid
ask you.
anything.
Just to ask you
But
to.
you are actually on our land, so we are going to have
Can
to
I ask you where it
to
is?
basically at the...
So this is not a public pavement.
No, it's our pavement.
I was told last week that on the south stand on the corner it wasn't. So that's, to be honest, that's why I'm.
This is the land registry.
Right. Okay.
We're happy with you across the road.
Well, I hope so, because that's
That's public. But as much as you've got the right, and I have no issue with that,
I
the issue I
understand.
have is these guys are our clients,
and they pay.
and they paid.
I genuinely
We've got
was
to look
told.
after them.
I was genuinely told that this area is called. In fact,
You can see on there that it isn't.
where are we now? With the sheriff's station. So what's that dotted line?
That's actually the paving stones.
Yeah,
To say I'm quite happy.
What I mean is, if that's the paving stones, there's a gap between the paving stones and your land.
Yeah.
It seems to be a bit long.
looking
No,
at
he's
that.
not down to scale now.
We're standing right on this corner here, so
Yeah.
it goes
Oh.
right the way up to this curve and then starts to
Yeah, so
slip
for
away.
instance there, and I'm not being difficult, I'm just honestly just saying, if that's your land there and that's the curve, there's quite a big gap between there. So over here, surely it's this line.
No. Well,
I think you'll find
are we
it's
we happy to compromise
Absolutely.
and you stay behind that
Absolutely,
line?
absolutely.
Is that a good
Yeah, if we
compromise
do
to
that.
you?
And I'm not going to stay here. I'm
that's
just
fine.
walking around anyway. So
Yeah, that's
but
fine.
thank you for pointing that out. And
Yeah.
I promise you.
If we call this our boundary,
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
follow that all the way round. You happy with that, Mark?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right.
Obviously,
But I don't want
we
you
do
going
own
that side.
right the way up on this side. That
is it-
gap
I'm
disappears.
guessing-
It's sort of, as you can see, it goes right the way up to this corner and then all along there. So you can't start going up and down the front, like the pavement here.
Should we
There's
walk
the
it?
there's
I
the
see.
drive-through. So
Should we walk
it's,
it?
It's just on this side. You've got this
All right.
sort
So,
of exclusion zone
that
here.
line
sort
is
of
not
here.
really.
It's not really. It's just the way that somehow they laid the pavement. But you've got, as you said, that tiny little bit there, and this is about it for what you've got.
Okay.
It goes right the way up to that pavement, all the way along
Right,
the front,
okay.
all that straight line, and round
So
there as well.
okay, that's fine. Thank you for pointing that out.
So
I would
it's
do.
really
I would
about
do
this
my
little
best not to encroach. If you think I am at some point, please say. But
Yeah.
I would genuinely not try and do that.
Okay.
And all I am doing is actually asking them questions, and they're not.
Okay.
Absolutely,
that
we'll
all
respect your rights as well as theirs. But
Thank you for coming.
Not a problem.
I've got you out to the fresh air, haven't I? I've got you out of there.
Yeah, not a problem.
All right, thanks a lot.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, we'll go across the road because that saves these ladies and gentlemen any problem. In fact, thanks a lot, guys.
No problem.
Can I just stop you lads for 1 second? 1 second. Just a quick question. All right. No. Okay. Ladies, can I just stop you for 1 second? I know you're busy. Just a quick. It's just a quickie. I just want you to know.
Are you a witness?
No, I'm not.
All right, sorry.
But it is a question about Jehovah's Witnesses. So no, they won't talk about the situation, but there are other people coming along. Could I just grab you for 1 second? I know that it's difficult and you're going to defend it. I just wondered, and it's an odd question, the difference between
No,
a
thank
Jehovah's
you.
Witness and a professed Jehovah's Witness. Okay? That's why many professed Jehovah's Witnesses are getting inside the organisation because no one seems to recognise them. Maybe later we'll find one and talk to a professed Jehovah's Witness. Is there a chance of just having a quick word now, do you think?
No.
I only want one answer and I'm gone.
No, John.
It's what's the
Please.
difference between a Jehovah's Witness and a professed Jehovah's Witness? And we've got another card. That's 4 cards. Oh no, we've had this one before. We took this one over before. We're here at the Cardiff Convention. Cardiff is the capital of Wales in the United Kingdom. This is the Motor Point Arena. It's the second weekend that Jehovah's Witnesses have here. This was my circuit, which is why some of the people here know me. And I can tell you quite honestly that this is very, very difficult for me to stand here with people I knew as brothers and sisters. And all I want to do is point out that this Watchtower says that now abusers are only called professed Jehovah's Witnesses. Now that is actually a false statement, and to a father of an abused victim, it's actually disgusting. I have never actually been in control of so many carts. The authorities have told us that we're not really allowed onto the other side of the pavement. I don't want to argue the case. They've been very kind and very nice. So we're going to stay on away from the pavement on that side, and we'll try and talk to some people as they come along. There's some people crossing the road now. We'll give it a try. Excuse me, love. Can I just have a very quick word? I know you're trying.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm not a Jehovah's Witness.
Oh, you're not?
No,
are
I'm
you?
not. It's just a quick question, and I hold you holding
Okay.
that. What's the difference between a Jehovah's Witness and a professed Jehovah's Witness? Any idea?
Caught me off guard now.
Well, the watch. I just tell you, the
I'm
watch.
just gonna go because I got a cat.
Go on, you go. All right, mind the road.
Mind the
road.
I'm not in the microphone. Thank you. Any other time when I hold a cup of coffee, I stand and talk all day, but
Just a point to note that as soon as I stop any Jehovah's Witness, particularly a female Jehovah's Witness, the brothers in control come running over to stand and usher them away. So people don't even have a mind to agree or not to agree, to stand and just briefly talk. They are ushered away very, very swiftly. We do have an opportunity to speak to our friends on the cart again. I don't know whether they're going to be able to talk. Shall we try again? Let's try again. Are we able to just have a very quick word to get an answer to that question? What the difference between the professional...
No, thank you, John.
Okay. Well, it's the Watchtower expression. That's why I'm asking you. It says in here that Jehovah's Witnesses that abuse children are only professed Jehovah's Witnesses. And I can't understand why an elder and a ministerial servant and others in high positions that abuse children, why are they only professed Jehovah's Witnesses? Why aren't they real Jehovah's Witnesses? And how can you tell the difference? I'm slightly tongue-in-cheek, but it is a very, very serious point that we do need to protect the children. My own daughter was abused by an elder, and by not taking ownership or responsibility, Jehovah's Witnesses are really diminishing what's going on. Saved by the Green Man. The Green Man, for those people who are not from this country, perhaps you could show them the Red Man. The Red Man, and people who are crossing the road get the Green Man. And Jehovah's Witnesses then were just saved by the Green Man. Well, they're waiting to cross the road. If I wait here, see if they cross. We're just waiting for the Green Man to talk here. And there's the Green Man. So we have two brothers coming across. Perhaps we can have a little chat with the brothers about the situation with professed Jehovah's Witnesses. Or are they going to remove the carts? It looks like they are. So, not prepared to answer a question from the Watchtower, and in fact are giving up. Is that an indication that they may only be professed Jehovah's Witnesses? Because surely a Jehovah's Witness, a real one, wouldn't give up after being asked questions from the Watchtower. So hopefully they're not professed Jehovah's Witnesses. But we're going to say goodbye to these brothers anyway.
I'm 18 with a bullet. Got my finger on the trigger. I'm gonna put it.
I'm just thinking, 6 lessons children need to learn. One of them is, how do you identify a professed Jehovah's Witness? Surely that's a very important lesson. But more about the lessons from Jehovah's Witnesses in a moment. I'm going to cross the road over to another cart. I have a feeling that when I get there, they may even shut that one down. But I'll have a nice little chat with them anyway. I'm just wondering whether we've been told that the land from the motor point obviously is from that pavement all the way around, but there's a section that I was able to see on the plans they showed me that is still public land. So I think if I'm going down there and any late Jehovah's Witness, and there are quite a lot coming in, I'll just see if I can talk to those. Could I just stop you for 1 second, just ask a question? It's from, I think, Watchtower from 3 weeks ago about professed Jehovah's Witnesses. What's the difference between a professed Jehovah's Witness and a Jehovah's Witness?
Well, professed Jehovah's Witness. Well,
I'll tell you why.
we're not professed. We are actually proper Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh well, I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. Thank you. So we've come back outside. We've enjoyed a coffee break. It's very quiet because the Jehovah's Witnesses are inside watching the TV programs that have been produced. The gentleman behind me has reappeared with the carts, and during broadcast my phone has gone off. Checking up that I'm okay. I've said we've enjoyed a nice coffee break. During the phone call and chat with my wife, they decided that since we're standing by the carts again for the second time, they've abandoned the cart. And I never even said anything this time. I never knew I had that presence, but they've abandoned the cart and have gone across the road. Well, when Green Man appears. I'm just wondering if it's possible that someone wearing tight pants could be a professed Jehovah's Witness. I don't know. He's certainly going into the assembly. I wonder if the attendants will allow someone wearing tight pants into the assembly. We'll just take a look and see. Yes, you can get into the assembly wearing tight pants. So the standards really have dropped. Sir, can I have a very quick word? Just a very quick word. It's about the Watchtower. All right, okay. I don't think he recognised the Watchtower. It's the magazine that's produced by Jehovah's Witnesses. Anyway, he wasn't interested in talking. Well, we've crossed the road and I haven't said a word, and I told my cameraman I won't say a word like I didn't the second time at the other cart, and I'm just standing here and they've abandoned the cart again. So I think the scriptures say something like winning people over without a word. We've accumulated another cart without saying a thing. And as long as I stand this side of the line, I'm hoping we'll be okay. What we want is for them to abandon the cart. Will it happen without a word? When we arrived just 30 seconds ago, the cart was just where this post was. But some attendants have come along and move the cart to a position of safety because a watchtower would have done damage. So they've been able to move across the way there, past the benches, to a position of safety. Oh, okay. I just wanted to ask a question about whether you think there's a difference between a professed Jehovah's Witness and a Jehovah's Witness. What do you reckon? It's a funny question, I know.
I'd rather not get involved at the moment.
Not get involved with Jehovah's Witness? All right, okay.
No, not in the question.
So she didn't want to be involved. It's probably a good stance to have. When Armageddon comes, I'm going to say I don't really want to be involved. I'll just speak to you for a few moments. It's an odd question, but do you think there's a difference between a Jehovah's Witness and a professed Jehovah's Witness? I know it's a very odd question.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah.
The Jehovah's Witnesses who have abused children are only professed. It says, in addition, some professing to be a part of the congregation have succumbed to perverted fleshly desires and have sexually abused children. So it seems to indicate that Jehovah's Witness, if it's an elder or a ministerial servant who's abused a child, then they're only professed Jehovah's Witnesses.
Well,
what do you think?
Well, first of all, I've worked with children for many years in my job as a community psychiatric nurse. And in England, the UK here, if anybody abuses a child in that way, or physically, emotionally, it can be reported straight to the police.
I agree.
Or the social
It should
service.
do.
Well, it is.
But not if you're a Jehovah's Witness.
Well, no, it is.
No, if you're a Jehovah's Witness,
Yeah,
you've got to ring the Bethel first.
Well, you could, but you can report it straight to the police.
You're actually told, elders are explicitly told in the Shepherd the Flock of God book, they must ring Bethel.
Well,
first.
Well,
and under no circumstances are they told to ring the police.
Well,
they are told not to prevent the victim from ringing the police, but they must not report.
No, you got it a bit wrong. We had a letter not so long ago that any elder, anybody who suspects child abuse, suspects, can report it straight to the police. It doesn't have to go to the Bethel or anything. It's
Thank
a
you.
criminal, because it's a criminal.
Yeah.
It's like a Jehovah's Witness robbing a bank or mugging people or raping people.
Yeah, yeah.
But child abuse is 10 million times worse than that.
I agree.
Yeah, I think most religions have got it wrong. Even in the big churches, they cover it up, don't they?
There is a problem within Jehovah's Witnesses of child abuse. My own daughter was abused by an elder.
Yeah.
He's in prison now.
Yeah.
And I know, and I don't want to contradict you, but the letter that you're referring to does not say that the elders must ring the police. It only still reiterates they have to ring Bethel.
No, it's purely that anybody in the congregation, be they a publisher, a servant, an elder, if they suspect, this is the word, abuse has gone, have the right to inform the police because it's a criminal offence.
It absolutely is, except that the Watchtower here, sadly, only ever calls it a sin.
Well,
it's a grave sin. It's a sin against the victim. It's a sin against the congregation. But it doesn't say it's a crime.
Well, it is a crime.
You're right, it is a crime.
Yeah.
Of course it's a crime.
Yeah, it has to be reported to the authorities.
Yeah.
Because there's no one or two witnesses or anything. It has to be reported. I've reported 3 people over the years to the police.
Well done. Well done. Well, you are absolutely right.
Yeah.
However, I can tell you that just a couple of years ago, 2 elders in Ireland bypassed the Bethel and rang the police, and they were removed because they did that, because the instructions are to ring Bethel first.
Well,
so I'm reassured to hear you say what you've done.
Yeah, well, it is. I mean, paedophiles are attracted to any job, any organisation that has children, i.e. children's homes.
Right, yeah.
i.e. churches.
Yeah, scouts and stuff like that.
Yeah, where there's children,
Yeah.
even me and Linda were in St John's Ambulance for a long time. We knew the guy who was looking after the children, and it was in the paper last week that he was. Yeah. So wherever you've got it,
You're absolutely right.
It's one of the worst problems.
Well, to be fair to the Watchtower, it calls it sexual abuse as a worldwide plague.
Well,
So we know it is a worldwide plague.
Yeah.
I'm just concerned because I'm aware of hundreds of cases within Jehovah's Witnesses,
Yeah.
and I really mean that.
Yeah.
Hundreds of cases that don't get reported to the police. And one more point, I'm going to let you get on.
Yeah.
About 2 years ago, the Australian government set up what was called the Australian Royal Commission
Oh, yeah.
to look at various religions,
Yeah.
and they actually targeted in on Jehovah's Witnesses as one.
Yeah.
And they found from the figures from the Bethel from Sydney that there were 1,006 Jehovah's Witnesses who had been abusing. 1,006
I hope they go to prison.
of which none had been reported to the police.
Well, everything's changing in this, and in society as a general.
Well,
there's a toleration of
there is, yeah.
Toleration of abusers, but it's a crime against the state. It's a crime against God, but it's a crime against the state.
You're right, absolutely right.
And as I say again, if I suspected someone, I had a word with him, and I went to the police. I told him that.
Yeah.
And in the end, the police came to see him.
Yeah, because elders don't have the authority to go and get someone's computer to see if there are child images on it.
No.
Elders can't look at phones.
No.
Elders can't look at other things.
That's why you have to.
That's why you have to.
Sorry to interrupt, Keith. Tracy's been looking for you.
Oh,
Anyway,
right.
Keith, it's been nice to see
Yeah.
you.
Sorry to
You
bother
take
you
care.
guys.
All right.
You all right?
Keith,
Sorry about
nice to
that.
see you. Bye then.
How are you doing? You all right?
We're just going back to the assembly, the convention. Don't look now, cameraman, but there's some. You know, we were saying that you don't know what a professed Jehovah's Witness looks like. I've just been looking on the Watchtower site, and on the Protect Your Children video, it's a monster that does the abusing. And I just spotted, what's this heading towards the assembly? Do you think it could be a professed Jehovah's Witness? Could you keep your eye on him? Excuse me, madam, you seem to be rather perturbed about what's just walked past you. Has anything frightened you in any way, or what do you think?
I'm feeling a bit uncomfortable because we've been told by the society how to recognise people who are likely to be child abusers, and I'm sure that person there is.
You think does he look a bit like that?
Yes.
Well, I can see some similarities. Do you think Jehovah's Witnesses will let him in? You've spotted him.
Oh, I'm sure the brothers will find him. They'll stop him. They'll stop him. He is not a Jehovah's Witness. He is merely a professed Jehovah's Witness.
We'll see how we get on. Let's follow him. I think we're going to stop this gentleman because I don't want him. Excuse me, could you just stop, please? He does look right. Yes, you. You are a professed Jehovah's Witness. I've done the checking. You do look a bit like, well, something like that. And we've been warned that it's monsters that are doing the job. So could you please stop don't go anywhere near don't go anywhere near this assembly. You've been found out. Jehovah's Witness has already spotted you. This lady here has spotted you and has reported you. So we're not going to have any of it. I don't know whether the Jehovah's Witnesses at the assembly, a lot of them are looking. If you look over there, they're actually they're all looking this way. I think they spotted him. I actually think they did. It's probably the training that elders get, that anyone who looks a bit like that, a bit like this monster, is they know it's a professed Jehovah's Witness. Anyway, let's see him on his way. I'm sorry you had to go through that, madam. That was quite a distressing thing. Now, can you please go away, please? What we're doing here today is to try to actually do exactly what you've done, is to ask people what's the difference between a professed Jehovah's Witness and a real one. Have you any ideas? What you
Well,
think?
yes, it's quite simple. Look around you. These people here in the assembly, these are real Jehovah's Witnesses,
Right.
whereas that
Yes.
person is merely professing to be a
Right.
Jehovah's
Yeah.
Witness.
Yeah.
The brothers can tell the
But you-
difference. We have to trust the organisation to weed these monsters
You
out.
spotted him even around the corner.
I did. It was my Bible-trained conscience.
Right, okay. Well, I'm very thankful that you brought it to our attention. We've got him on film anyway now. He won't be going anywhere near anyone in this assembly. So we've done our part. I think we can go home now. In fact, we can go and have another cup of coffee, I think, now.
Thank you.
All right, thank you
you.
very much. Thank you, sister. Still outside the convention at Cardiff. I've mentioned it's the capital of Wales. This is the second assembly weekend. The reason that I wanted to come here, and I'm very grateful for my cameraman also to come, is because the Watchtower of the May edition has had a reference to the fact that Jehovah's Witnesses that abuse are only professed Jehovah's Witnesses. So it says some professing to be a part of the congregation have succumbed to perverted fleshly desires and have sexually abused children. So they will not say that any sex abusers, child abusers, are actually Jehovah's Witnesses, when we know the fact is that there are actually thousands worldwide. Now, I've jokingly called the production Behind the Curtain Productions, because as many ex-witnesses I think will testify, when we were Jehovah's Witnesses, we were suckered in. I believed it 100%. I was a Jehovah's Witness for 55 years. I was an elder eventually, and would have done anything for the Watchtower organisation. When my daughter was abused, and the way it was handled, and then the way I was handled, it led to some doubts. And so I've called it Behind the Curtain because it reminded me of the film The Wizard of Oz, where we know that Dorothy goes on the yellow brick road to see the wizard because the wizard has all the answers. I thought the Watchtower organisation had all the answers. When Dorothy gets to the wizard, then Toto the dog goes behind and pulls the curtain back and reveals that it's just a man working it all. And once you've seen behind the curtain, there is no way could you convince me or anyone else that it's the wizard. He is a wizard. And so I'm in the same situation. Having seen behind the scenes, the curtain has been pulled back. I now know what Jehovah's Witnesses are like. Many of them are decent, hard-working people who are just in a high control group, just as I was. I'm particularly free of it now, and I wanted to make this contribution because of the fact that I want children to be protected within Jehovah's organisation. They're not doing it now. There is still a 2-witness rule. They do not ring the police, and I would like that to change. The reason why we used a dressed up person was not to make light of the seriousness of child abuse. It was just that in the Watchtower cartoon that was made a couple of years ago called Protect Your Children, they portrayed someone who was going to abuse the children as a monster. Was that a wise thing to do? So if any child who's a Jehovah's Witness sees a monster like that, yes, they will know that they need to run away. But it's not monsters that are abusing them, it's regular Jehovah's Witnesses. It's Uncle John and it's Auntie Mary. So I wanted to make the point using that guy dressed up that, well, yes, we obviously saw he was dressed up. He's a professed Jehovah's Witness. But our children are living with their aunties and their uncles, their brothers, their sisters. They call brother and sister in the congregation. And it's dad and mum. And it's those people who are abusing. It's not monsters like this. And we want our children to recognise that. And I don't think the Watchtower's Protect Your Children video really highlighted that. So it certainly wasn't to make light of the fact of child abuse. So I want to thank the people involved in making this. It was a one-off thing. I didn't know how it was going to go. It's taken a great deal of courage for all of my friends to be involved in this. We hope you've enjoyed watching it, and here's to the next one. Thank you.